All right. And we are live. It is Filmaholics Entertainment Podcast. Fap. What's up, everybody? We got Boo Radley in the house, and we got Vu representing all the way from northern. I guess I don't want to give it away, but northern, let's say America. How you boys doing today? We got a heck of an agenda. Episode 2. You guys ready to rock?
I'm ready to rock.
Ready to rock. We're in the midst of summer blockbuster.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's been a hot summer.
Dude, hasn't it?
For film. Yep.
Oh my gosh. A-list. So, I guess I've had A-list since 2017, 2018. I feel like it's the most I've ever been to movies by. I'm almost around 20 movies by what is it, June 19th today? So, or June 20th. It's crazy how many movies I've been to so far.
Back.
Yep.
Cinema is back. just when streaming thought they had it.
Ripped it back.
Yeah. Cinema's just ripped it back. And I think we've got a lot of good conversations here today. Just discussing. I guess how about this? We'll jump into you, Vu and Brad, or let's go Brad and then Vu. Just tell me, how's the day been? What you guys been up to, and if you guys been seeing any good movies on TV and or in real life.
Thanks for having me back, Kevin, and thanks for asking me how my day was. Really nice of you.
I always got to start it off with that.
I recently got back from a golf lesson, first lesson ever. So, while I'm not watching movies, I like to get outside and swing a little club, all right?
Ladies and gentlemen, I also want to preface this. This man shot a 90 a couple of weeks back. Just want to let you know. So
he's kind of a big deal.
Yeah. With no lessons, my God, we're in royalty. The U.S. Open, I'm surprised you weren't there.
Next time you hear me, I'll be at the Masters.
That's going to be our segue into the red carpet.
Yep. And then my segue onto Vu, somebody who we know won't ever be in the Masters, is Vu. I'm sorry. Jokes.
I did
like to have fun here.
Play 9 holes a couple weeks ago. I shot a 57.
Not bad.
It was
That's
one
better
of those
than
numbers.
expected.
You could compete with Kevin.
Yeah, you could honestly. You're not far from me. I'm like, my best I've ever shot, bro, is like a 52.
Wow. Yeah, I'm really bad.
Well, hey, and I consider myself halfway decent, so I guess wondering where the discrepancy is there. But Vu, how's everything been going with you, brother?
It's been going well. It's been a busy summer, but still trying to fit in the movies. Trying to fit in film. It's been a busy summer for cinema, as we just talked about. So trying to soak in all the content as possible in my free time.
and you guys tell me this too. I feel like so far this summer, since I would say, what was the first movie this summer? Maybe Guardians of the Galaxy? Was that like the first kickoff of the summer, would you say?
Definitely. I would say that.
Yeah, since Guardians of the Galaxy, it's week after week after week after week. We've got a lot of discussions today. We're going to be going over The Flash. We're going to be going across the Spiderverse. We're going to be going over Transformers, Decepticons, or Autobots roll out. Like we're going to be, we have a lot to talk about today that it's going to be hard for us to go on off our random diatribes of, what the movie universe is. But we'll see what we can do. We're going to try to make this, maybe as long as the last episode, maybe not as long. We'll see. It's just been so long. We want to make sure the people are getting what they come here and what they deserve for.
The people crave the content.
Oh, yeah. We get the people going. It's crazy. We had maybe like 30 views. We start off real hot that first day, about 30 views. Then we plateaued to about 0 views in the last week or two. So, this time it's all about that SEO.
They need content. That's what it means.
Exactly. Those 30 people. And if anyone's here who's watching the second time, please comment in the chat on YouTube saying, just so we know you've seen both episodes. Would you
hashtag FAP?
Yeah, or hashtag FAP. Hashtag FAP or give me the beef. One of the three. Let's see if we can get anybody who's like, "Oh, I'm a huge fan.
I'm your number one fan."
We start making merch.
I was just gonna bring this up that like on my old wrestling podcast, we always lied to everybody, being like, "Oh, we've got merch on the way," and like it's coming. But hey, with this one, it might come. It might happen. So let's talk about this movie. We've got some movie news. We can, like I told you, we try to kind of freeform this. We're gonna go through kind of some of the news. I'll probably have random thoughts on like what do we expect for the rest of the summer as well. I know that's kind of random. I also added a couple things. We're gonna be going over some fun topics today. So and then at the end of it, I think we're gonna end it off. The main event's gonna be what we predict are gonna be our top 5 movies post summer, so September to December. And whatever hell else comes on here. So I've got the 2 of the best in the game at it right here with me. I think we're all ready to go, and let's get the show on the road, right?
Let's hit it.
And then if I was better at this, I'd have transitional music right now. But we'll get there. We'll get there in time.
Once we hire a full-time editor.
Yeah. I can't be me. I'm not very good. All right, let's see what we got. So let me pull this up here. All right, when looking at the movie news, number 1 on the agenda today, ladies and gentlemen, is Marvel Disney movies are delayed. Yes, because of this, you guys have all probably heard of it, the writer's strike. Also all the other strikes too as well. But I think a lot of these different organizations are actually going through making deals. So right now, the big thing is that's impacting the movie universe, just like 2007, 2008, is the writer's strike. We did a quick little, rundown of it last week. I know it was maybe the most coherent thing I'd gone through, but I tried my best. But pretty much what's going on is without people writing, movies and TV shows are not going to be able to be pretty much going, written and going forward. And some of them that were announced were Marvel and Disney had to push back a lot of their 2024 movies and productions back to 2025. Really what this shows to me is, one, it seems like there's a lot of mayhem and chaos going on behind the scenes on what was maybe known as the number 1 studio, for the last 10 years. I mean, I feel like Disney with Marvel just couldn't miss. They had Star Wars with all the hype coming back with that. You're looking at all these things, and it's kind of making me a little worried going forward, thinking to myself, what's going on behind Disney? 2, what's going on with Star Wars? We haven't had a Star Wars movie since, was it 2020 or 2019? Like, that's crazy to think it's been 5 years since we had a Star Wars movie, considering how much money they spent and just what they promised us back in 2017. So just want to get you guys' thoughts on this, what you're thinking. When looking at this article here, and I'll pull it up, but do any of you guys have any quick thoughts when you just hear when you guys just hear this here?
How much hunger is there for new Star Wars movie compared to new Marvel?
See, that's a good question. I think and Vu, are you a bigger fan of Star Wars or Marvel?
I would definitely say Marvel at this point.
Yeah, I think it's crazy to think. I think after the prequels, which the prequels of course used to be hated on, and now they're kind of beloved by the younger crowd just because it's nostalgia, I guess. It's good lore, whatnot. But it used to be hated on. So when the excitement of all these movies being announced, 3 new Star Wars films, and then realizing that they're 3 disjointed films that had no clear plan at the end of the day. I mean, god dang it, Palpatine. Spoilers alert for anybody here. Palpatine returned, and Rey had Rey all of a sudden was a Skywalker. I think at the end of that, and John Boyega is all of a sudden not in love with. There's just so much things in canon that you can tell there was an idea with the first movie, which was the best of the 3. Then episode 2 or episode 8 was also just a great movie, but it also have so completely different from the first one. And then the third one was just, I'm pretty sure that may have been AI written. Like that was an AI written film. Just if you look back at everything that happened. But
yeah, that last movie was not very good.
No. I mean, and I was entertained. As for me, I was like, if I didn't think too deep into it, the first night I thought I was like, I'm entertained, but I was very disappointed. There were so many plot holes. None of it just ran together. I don't know.
Yeah.
Brad, did you see all those as well?
Yeah, because I thought it was interesting. You had J.J. Abrams directed number 7, and then he also did 9, and then you had was it Rian Johnson for 8?
Yeah, and then because of that, he actually almost was supposed to. He's rumored he's supposed to be actually making a new Star Wars film in general, but we haven't heard of anything. I mean, that's another thing. There's been directors who were supposed to be doing this and that, and none of it happened.
I just feel like the pressure is probably so high, and there's just so much money behind it that it's just not what it used to be.
Yeah. Not a lot of risks are being taken, I would say.
That's a great point.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? I think if you look at episode 8, out of all those 3, Vu, what was your favorite? of the new
I'd probably
generation.
say the first one, 7 then. 7.
Mm-hmm.
I really enjoyed that one.
I think that was just the excitement of just being back in the world.
Mm-hmm.
And then, the lore of everything. Having, gosh, who was it? Harrison was back, you know what I mean? Like, and it was a good way to end it on that, him killing Adam Driver's character, Kylo Ren killing his father. I mean, that right there made me just want to hate the guy. It was a shocker in the movie theater. Do you guys remember that moment? Or did you guys see it in the theaters?
Yeah.
Did he kill his dad in the woods? Was it in the woods?
No, it was on like a star base.
It was on like a scaffold, wasn't it?
Yeah, and he's like,
oh yeah.
What is his name? He yells like, it's so funny whenever I hear it. It's like, Ben, yeah, Ben, and then all of a sudden you just see him there, and he's like, come back, we can help. And then, and just
those are great sound effects.
Yeah,
full savage right there.
And then you just hear. Can anyone do a Wookiee or as he sees it? And then it's crazy. You just see the body drop. Like it wasn't even like a little like on the ground. No, it was like
down he goes.
No, yeah. So that was a great movie, but like. Then you look at episode 9, and episode 9 just kind of. I mean, the 8 honestly might have been my favorite.
I liked 8.
Yeah, I liked 8 a lot because of the stylistic approach to it. Not only was it just like an action flick, it had a lot of different cinematography choices that I thought were just fantastic.
I want to shout out one scene in 8 where
give it to me.
I think she was like a rebel, high in the rebels, and she was what sacrificed herself by doing hyperdrive through the enemy ship. And then in the theater, just goes completely silent.
Yeah, you just see it go run through.
So cool. I've never been in a theater that went completely silent.
The world they were in for when they had the battle on the last. It was like it looked like it was blood. Just the dynamics between that and then Luke Skywalker coming back. I mean, it was just a great film.
That was a good movie.
Skywalker being back. Yeah. Did he die in that one too? It wasn't the last one, right?
Is that his like force projection at the end?
Yeah, I think you're right, Alex.
Yeah. I don't know. Great films, but at this end of the day, I think what it is it showed a lot of promise of what it could be. You see movies like Star Trek. Hell, you even had Marvel at that time having the best, run of their lives. New ideas, new creative approaches. I think people who are watching things like The Mandalorian, watching things like Andor. Hell, there's even fans I would say of gosh, what was the one that's Luke Skywalker's his like master Obi-Wan. I think there was a lot of fans of Obi-Wan, and there were some great scenes in Obi-Wan as well. So I think people are just more. I think they're just more tired of the incoherency of the last few, and also just it seems like behind the scenes there's just a lot of mayhem and chaos. Like I said earlier, I mean it just doesn't seem like it's all gelling well together. It's like what's going on here. So
it was like the best and the worst thing to happen to Star Wars was Disney buying it. Because best is you get more content, but then like worst, you just get more corporate.
You get more corporate with it, exactly. I think George Lucas was tired of getting shit on for those prequels as well. Even though if you look back, probably Star Wars wise, they're probably the most
I like the
heavy
prequels.
Star Wars idea. Yeah, I actually don't hate them either. Not at all.
I mean, he got his bag and he got out.
Yep.
Exactly. What was it? $2 billion, $3 billion. I'm pretty sure Disney's made their money back with it now, and now they've got for the rest of history. But I mean, you're just looking at it, like when I look at this, you'll see here, like when I'm reading this article, when it looks back to the MCU, and the MCU right lately has not been on a roll. We all can probably agree with that. I mean, luckily they had the Guardians of the Galaxy recently, but at the end of the day, I mean, it's still a tough time. So, it looks like right now, Deadpool 3 with Ryan Reynolds, it says here, actually was cheekily moved up from his original date. So that's kind of funny that they're actually moving that one up. But it looks like anything that's like not Fox related. So like Captain America, Brave New World, which originally was New World Order, but has now been changed to Brave New World, has been slated for July 26, 2024. And then Thunderbolts has been moved to December 20th, 2024. Blade has been pushed to February 14th, 2025. And the Fantastic Four, which I'm the most excited about just because that's the first of the, I would say, besides Deadpool, but I mean, it's a brand new cast. That Fantastic Four will now be May 2nd, 2025.
Is it and then even also hype anymore? Like, I feel like I'm not hearing about it in the whole general internet.
Well, I'll tell you this. because it's like all these movies have not been very good. I mean, Vu, what do you and then my last two things I want to add is that the next Avengers like movie, and this is the first time it's been like, gosh, I think since 2019, 2019 was the last one. So by 2026, that'll be 7 years between Avengers movies. It'll be Avengers Kang Dynasty and Avengers Secret Wars. That was pushed as well. And there's rumors that maybe it was pushed because of the drama between Jonathan Majors, who apparently is in a legal dispute right now. He was charged with something. And the sad thing is, or not the sad, whether it's true or not, it's still going through the legal proceedings. So, something bad could happen. They don't really know necessarily what to do with them. And it sucks, Brad, because everything that is hindering on the future of Marvel is the idea that at the end of this, he's going to be the big bad and we're going to, face off against him. But at the end of the day, Disney doesn't want them, to have that in their back pocket. Vu, do you want to give a little bit more light into this? I mean, what are your thoughts on, to you, do you feel like there is excitement with Marvel? What do you think are some of the troubles?
It's been tough, There's been a lot of content that they've been pushing out. A lot of shows came out, I think, within the last couple of years. Some were hits and some were misses. So I think this could be a blessing in disguise. Maybe they get a little more time to rework what the future of the MCU is going to be. I know one of the big issues was the graphic designers weren't getting enough time, to work on these projects. Maybe this buys more time.
Yeah.
Just because everything's delayed. But yeah, it's been a tough bout for Marvel, I'd say, in Phase 4 so far.
Yeah. And that's bound to happen after what you just went through is maybe the greatest generation of movie making. There will never be, we may never be able to duplicate what we saw between 2008 to 2019. 11 years of just elite movies. Say what you want. Of course, they're not all going to be home runs. Mm-hmm. But they all were movies that at the end of the day, led to a certain end that perfectly was the ice cream on top of the cake, the cherry on top. It was a perfect ending to a 10, 11-year saga that we may never see again.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So it's hard to duplicate that. I think this is good as well, but it just seems like it adds. Disney, wherever Disney's touching right now, it seems to be going bad. And I actually have a subject later on that talking about Pixar, another Disney property, of course. But yeah, it just seems like right now the future of just Disney products in general aren't necessarily, going through the best situation right now.
Anymore.
But not necessarily home runs exactly. Dude, look at this. I'm reading this. It says the next 3 Avatar movies at this rate, the 5th trip to Pandora will be released in 2031.
Zoe Saldana's like, I was 27 when we first did this, and I'll be 50 when it ends.
That's crazy to think. Oh,
I just watched the second Avatar last week. Yeah. So good, by the way. So good. So
give me your thoughts on that. I guess we never really did. We even add that to the slate when it comes to reviews? Because I review that with it. But what do you think, Vu, on that?
I thought.
Give us a quick rundown.
Yeah, it's taking a trip back to Pandora. I don't want to spoil it for anyone that hasn't seen it, but it deals with the main character Sully going into like a water tribe and trying to integrate his family there, where he's being hunted again by the sky people. So I just think when it comes to like Avatar, like the motion picture, like all the graphics and everything is done to a T. Like it's amazing.
It's as beautiful as it gets.
Yeah. And I think that's where Marvel was lacking. Like a lot of their motion pictures were not as great.
You're seeing these $200 million films being created, and their CGI looks like it's worse than a PS4 video game. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Yeah, it's Brad. I'd like to hear your giggle. What are your thoughts behind the giggle there?
I was just laughing at like, the bad guy in Avatar 1. What if we made him blue?
Oh my!
Don't get me wrong. Visually stunning, beautiful film.
Yeah,
but I just thought it was quite funny. It's like, it's kind of a similar movie.
Right.
Yeah,
and I think it was at a time too, man, where movies were kind of back at the end of 2022. Of course, it's not like where we're at right now, but it had gone maybe a month or two where it was any real good films. If I remember just seeing, remember thinking
James Cameron brought people back to the cinema. Avatar 2 was definitely like
it's number 2 now time.
Yeah.
How does he do that? Is it, and it's the international market that's doing it. And of course, it's word of mouth. It's, people bringing in because, of course, they probably have the remembrance of the originals. But the idea that these movies, I remember when they announced, like maybe a month before the second one, I couldn't even have told you who were the main characters and what, like you know what I mean? Like, it's not like somewhere you're remembering Captain America or any story we've seen in the last few years. It's a character-driven movie. That one's is purely just word of mouth, James Cameron. And the idea that I think people, wanted to see something beautiful at the time. I don't know. It's just kind of crazy idea of how big Pandora and just our Avatar in general has gone over the years.
What I think it helps is like when you create a movie that if you're not watching it in the theater, you're missing out. Like that has to help.
Yeah.
Like this is your moment.
It's a moment. It's a moment in pop culture.
Yeah.
Being able to talk about it. No one wants to go to the water cooler and not talk about it.
Yeah, they don't want to be the one left out.
Yeah, I don't want to. Anxiety. That's what gets me, baby. That's what pushes me along.
That's what pushes us all.
Yeah, fuels my bod. Yeah, no, yeah. And then one last thing, just to add, sorry, bringing it off Pandora. I know everyone wants to talk about it for another 10 hours, but because there's just such a huge audience for, especially with our channel, I'm sure there's a huge Avatar audience. But the new Star Wars films, it was funny, were actually announced, and they were kind of announced, but not actually given a release dates. There now would be 2 Star Wars films. One is going to be the James Mangold one, I think, which is going to be kind of like based on the theory of the Force, like the kind of like a religious, he calls it a biblical epic, based on like kind of the Force, which is going to be sick. I'm excited about that. I think it's on the Old Republic, if anyone's ever played those games or heard of those games. And they're announced to be 2025 or 2026. And then another one's supposed to be in 2027. So we should be getting 2 years straight of Star Wars as well. Any last thoughts on all this, guys? I mean, anything else you guys want to add to just the mayhem that's going on with this writer's strike, how it's impacting? I mean, it seems like 2024, I'm a little nervous about the amount of films going to be coming out, especially what we just went through with 2020. And 2021 still was kind of affected by it. I mean, any last thoughts?
Pay the writers. You can end it.
I agree.
Just pay the writers.
Pay the writers. I mean, literally, we saw the worst Star Wars. No, it's all subjective. Just that last one, you cannot tell me wasn't made by an alien or an AI or any sort of like AI. I'm telling you,
that's proof that aliens exist.
Oh my God, literally.
Let's bring back Palpatine.
Let's bring back Palpatine again. Let's bring it back. Dude, that's where I'm excited about James Mangold being brought in. He's done Logan. He's done a new Indiana Jones, which I've heard is not like game changer, groundbreaking, but I've also heard that's also a Disney. It feels like Disney is just doing this, and it's hard to be able to build off of it when you're just you're being just controlled by the corporate monster, which is Disney. And I don't know.
I heard there's a lot of restrictions when you're working with Disney. I think that's why Eternals didn't turn out so hot.
Yeah, dude, and especially when they had Chloe Zhao, I think was the director. Yep. She won. Was it Nomadland or? What movie did she win? She won best director for a movie the year before. So it was like, wow, Marvel's getting a best director directing a Marvel film. And I actually liked Eternals, truthfully. I don't know if you guys did, but
it was interesting.
Never watched it.
You should check it out, Brad. It has nothing connected to anything, so it's just its own thing. So you don't have to know anything going into it.
It does have Rob Stark's actor, Richard Madden.
Probably the best probably the best looking dude.
Oh, and oh my God, and Kit Harington. I'm just looking.
Yeah, Kit Harington. Yeah, Angelina Jolie, and Gemma Chan. Oh, Gemma Chan, big crush on her too.
They're married, right? I'm pretty sure they're married.
Who?
Gemma Chan and Rob Stark.
Are they?
I think they're married. Yeah, in real life.
That seemed kind of legit during the movie. Their love, it didn't seem forced. So
yeah.
No, their partner is Dominic Cooper.
Never mind.
Also, by the way, everybody, you guys notice the posters in the background here. I want to point out that Vu has added a poster to his repertoire. Yeah. Look at that. So
Flash movie.
Movie guys right here.
Yep.
All right. Movie guys. All right, cool, man. Well, I think we've spent enough time on that first topic. We should probably move on. That was good. This is good dialogue, though. This is good. This is how you do it. This is how a podcast should be done.
Yep.
All right, bringing it back. So So we can cut out the 3 Star Wars announced, of course, we can bring up this. I mean, Netflix password crackdown is a success. We don't have to spend too much time here. Really what this is saying is that since the first time, I think since 2020, the subscribers for Netflix are up. I don't know if any of you guys knew this, but about a year ago, essentially, I think Netflix announced that they had all these, they had a bunch of losses, weren't earning subscribers. Their stocks got, plummeted. To only like $130. And if you look at it now, I think it's like $340 in 1 year. So, just to look at how much has come down. But the idea of this is that it's working. People are signing up. What we feared, what we all thought we were rebelled, what I stood out in the streets for days, picketed fencing for, has now come to fruition as a success for Netflix. People are signing up. It's working where you can't just, go off of your guys' parents. I mean, Vu and Brad. Vu, you go first. Who did you used to watch your Netflix? I know you didn't buy it. And same with Brad. None of us did. Did we all buy Netflix?
Had my parents forever.
Yeah. Yep. What about you, Vu? Yeah, parents. I use Lindsay's parents, not even my own.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
have you guys gotten kicked off your accounts yet?
No. I think it secretly adds on like a certain amount of money to there.
Because I've talked to people where they've gotten kicked out recently.
Really? I don't think I've been kicked out yet.
Yeah, I haven't either. I'm hoping I don't, because that would be a bummer having to pay for Netflix. I guess it's not a bummer. It's just another streaming service to add.
Another thing to pay for.
Yep.
I
was going to ask you, so we had that great talk about HBO last week, Max. What do you guys what streaming services do you guys own?
Let's see. I get Max from a friend of a friend.
Same.
I get Netflix from my parents.
Yep.
Amazon Prime from my parents, and only one I pay for is Hulu.
You pay for Hulu? Do you do live TV with that as well?
I'm splitting it with like my siblings, so we've got the Disney Plus, Hulu, ESPN Plus combo.
Nice. What
about you? I love it. I mean, you can't. I cannot watch Hulu with ads. What a waste of my time.
Same, bro. And I actually, surprisingly, I didn't think I'd ever do this again. I'm back to where I'm just channel scrolling at the end of the night. I kind of just enjoy that.
Go back to your nostalgia roots, huh?
It is, yeah. I watch ESPN, get pissed off at the TV, yell at the clouds, and then I move on.
Time to turn that George Lopez on. Hear that cowbell ringing.
Yep. Oh my god. Which ones do you own, man?
I have.
Or which ones do you have on like TV?
Yeah, I have Netflix, Peacock, Paramount Plus, Hulu, YouTube TV, Max, Prime, Disney Plus, Hulu. Yeah, I think I have all of them.
What's on Paramount, baby? What's on Paramount?
So Rachel and
I've got
my
Paramount.
Girlfriend, yeah, we used to stream Survivor on it.
Okay.
That's what COVID. Lindsay uses it for.
Yep, I used it. We used it to watch Survivor a bunch, and then like The Challenge. I don't know if you guys know that, another reality TV competition show on MTV was on it.
I have heard of that. Yeah, because that's Paramount's a Viacom, right? So that's like Nickelodeon, CBS.
Exactly.
Who watches CBS? Mostly old people. So I feel like their subscribers are down because people aren't going on there. Yeah. And you guys got Peacock? I didn't see anyone here.
I do have Peacock, so I can watch Premier League soccer.
Nice.
Yep, we've got the cock for pro wrestling.
Nice.
So that's
what about the super fan Office episodes? Have you guys seen that?
Yes, that is true. If you're a big Office guy, yeah.
Yep.
I'm not.
Oh, that's big.
No, I've seen them all, and I like it. I'm just not going to be yelling at. Again, I'm not going to be picketing for The Office, I guess.
Gotcha.
Yeah. How I Met Your Mother would be my Office, I would say.
Okay. Do you have all the streaming services too, Kev?
I think I do. I think I have literally
one way or another.
In Paramount, I keep canceling, and they just keep giving me 2 free months.
Nice.
So they're waiting for me to forget. But I always put it in my damn calendar. I'm not.
I do that too.
Buddies. Yeah.
I think the only one I don't have is Apple TV.
Ooh, I
have Apple TV. That is worth it. Apple TV is the most underrated by far, if you ask me.
Really? So what if I got Apple TV? What would be like top 2 shows that I would have to watch? Severance.
Okay. Severance.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Mythic Quest.
It's one of the best. I want to watch Mythic Quest, but I haven't gotten into it. You like it?
I like it. I really do. I really like Rob McElhenney, big Always Sunny in Philadelphia fan. So
yep. New season of that, by the way, has started on Hulu. So
you're right.
That as well.
That'll be in my what I'm watching.
Yep. Oh, I did write that down too. Good point. I didn't even think about that. Gosh, look at me prepared. But yeah, other than that, anything you guys want to add to this besides, Netflix? Just they always seem to be just innovating, and it seems like because of this, I think the big headline, if you look at it, beyond that, what the big meaning behind the headline is that they're seeing success. What's stopping HBO? What I kind of want to ask, we're all pulling from all these different streamers, from friends of friends. What's stopping the rest of these companies from doing the same?
This is the future of streaming.
I know, man. It's just the beginning, and I think we're going to be the ones who set it first. And we're going to screen record this so I can post this a year from now saying we did it. Yeah. Well, just like what it was last week. Didn't we make an announcement last week or something like that? Like a breaking news announcement 2 weeks ago. I can't remember what it was.
I forgot what it was. But
So breaking news announcement. My sources are saying this is going to be happening beginning in 2024. So
I'll just say this, that there was so much backlash to it, but everybody is all talk, no walk, because their people signed up for it and came back.
What do you with all the backlash, what do you think is what brings people back to Netflix? It's not the exclusives. Hell, 90% of the shit that they put out there isn't good.
I think the only thing that I watch on Netflix, which again will be upcoming, is I Think You Should Leave. I really do not watch Netflix.
I gotta write that down too. I'm watching I Think You Should Leave. It's hilarious.
I'm in the
It's
same
like
boat.
Did you guys watch like Stranger Things?
Yep.
Some of it.
See, that was where I was like, I was back. That was somewhere Netflix. I mean, Vu, what about you? What would you say is what do you think is the reason you go back if you do? Or, I mean, are you on there just to see what kind of movies are randomly there? Give me thoughts on that as well.
Once in a while, they'll come out with something that's so hot that you gotta watch it. Like what's the next Squid Game?
Squid Game, yes.
So
is that Netflix's thing? Is the idea that they know how to do word of mouth better than anybody else?
I think it is. Like the Stranger Things hype, the Squid Game hype. What the Squid Game, like one of the most streamed shows in the first week of all time or something like that.
Yeah, same with Stranger Things. I mean, gosh. If you guys can think back, this is another fun one, but I think what's the original thing that got you on Netflix that was like an original show? I'll go first. House of Cards.
Well, are we saying original Netflix show?
Original Netflix show. So what was the thing?
House of Cards wasn't. Was House of Cards Netflix?
That was a Netflix show.
Yeah.
No way.
Yeah.
I can't even think of what would have drew me in.
Was maybe BoJack Horseman?
BoJack was, yeah.
That might be mine.
Yeah. I mean, any Vu for
Great
you?
show, by the way. I would say Narcos was
probably, Narcos, yes.
Yeah.
Great show.
Yeah.
Great show. Thank you for that. Mindhunter is also one of the greatest of all time, I would say, on Netflix. Have you guys both seen it?
I haven't watched it, but I heard it's fantastic.
Guys, see that. It is so good. Before you guys get kicked off your guys' friends' Netflix accounts, check out Mindhunter. I love how we can just
Black Mirror also has to be mentioned.
Yeah?
New season.
Have you watched it yet? Is that also part of it?
I have not watched the new season yet, no.
I'm only 2 episodes in. Yeah, we can save that. Sorry. Anything else, guys? Anything else you want to add to this story? Just kind of a fun little discussion here, of course.
I think, the password crackdown, people are just gonna make a new account and just pop up the money. I think.
Yeah. How much money do you think?
Too easy to.
Do you guys remember how much cable used to cost? Do you guys at all? Did any of you guys pay for it?
No, but I know it's a shit ton.
Yeah.
Didn't Comcast have the triple play back in the day for $99? So I'm guessing
for the first year, I think, and then it went to $300.
Yep.
Oh getting old. My God. Yeah, dude, that's crazy to think how much has changed in the last 10 years. Stoner thoughts late at night, essentially. All right, cool. Well, then I feel like if you guys have nothing else to add, we can move on from that discussion. Moving on. Come on now. All right, here we go. Rumor. Potentially. I know, of course, we're not the ones, maybe because it's all potential rumors. I'm hearing from my sources on the other line here, yelling in my ear right now. I got to get it out. Tom Tom Cruise is being rumored to be playing the Green Lantern.
Get
Tom
outta
Cruise is
here.
being rumored to be
Breaking
playing.
news.
Get
Breaking
out of
news.
here.
Yeah. That's the rumor, is that Tom.
That's terrible.
I mean,
He's a
That's
bit
terrible.
old for that, right?
he was rumored to be playing. He was rumored to be playing Iron Man originally before Robert Downey Jr. So, and it's hard to say, guys, because the DC. I mean, have you guys heard about who's going to be the new super? And we can also say, also Superman is down. They say by Father's Day, which just happened. So I guess that's not true. My sources were wrong about that one. So take it, whatever my sources say, anything, take it with a grain of salt. But they
retracting breaking news.
we take CNN putting on there. We take it back. Yeah, breaking news. Right now it seems like they're starting to fill out who's going to be part of this new DCU. We're going to go into what the DCU was, I feel like, during the Flash review we have here later. But, it just seems like right now, I think that was one of the bigger, just kind of really big rumors going around right now, is that James Gunn is vying for it to happen. Of course, I could say that he's also going, he could also be saying he's going for Matthew McConaughey. You know what I mean? What I'm trying to say is, like, it was just like a big name that some people heard something that is kind of crazy to hear as a Green Lantern. I mean, that's a big name to be attached. Marvel can never even bring somebody like that in. I mean, that's somebody, if you want to start a league off of New Justice League, that helps with it. So, and I wouldn't say that it's a good thing as well, because I think one of my favorite parts about the MCU and the DC was the fact that you're bringing in people who are kind of up and coming as actors, I would say. I mean, Chris Evans was not who he was today when he became, Captain America. Same with Iron Man. Ben Affleck, I wouldn't say he needed the Batman role. Great actor. You know what I mean? Like, he had just won, best, he was winning awards with like Argo, but, and Henry Cavill, I love that Henry Cavill was the new Superman. So, what I'm trying to say is, it's interesting. It'd be kind of cool, be a big name to add to it, especially since we haven't had a Green Lantern since Ryan Reynolds, and that movie was a flop. Did any of you guys see the original Green Lantern?
Oh yeah.
I never got the chance.
Oh yeah, you're lucky, buddy. You're lucky. I mean, it was pretty bad, actually. Right now, I mean, anything with Tom Cruise is bringing in money. I mean, we haven't seen, I guess, the new Mission Impossible, but I mean, we clearly just saw with the last Top Gun. He's the one who some say is the savior to the movies. I don't know. Just wanted to hear what you guys' thoughts on this. I'm guessing it seems like, wow, this seems a little stupid, but just
is he a bit old? Do you think, if they're gonna reshape, for the Justice League? So I'm thinking this is probably like a 10-year commitment.
I would say he does not give a shit about his kids, his family. So I think he wouldn't mind committing to it. Maybe, I don't know.
Gotcha.
Scientology 1, Cinema 2.
Yeah, exactly.
Family 3.
Yeah. I mean, dude, the shit they're giving him, that's that Scientology. I'll tell you what, I'll sign up if I have to. If it can help me look good too. My God. But I don't know. It was just kind of a headline I saw, and it just. I mean, if he was in there, it'd be kind of cool. But now I'm looking at articles. It might have just been something I saw on Twitter. Damn you, Twitter!
Are they? Do you know what roles they are recasting for the new Gunverse? Is that what we're?
That's fun. This is a fun topic. I like this.
Yeah.
So right now, Superman. If you guys Google Superman, it's between like 3. I think the most known person who potentially is going to get Superman is Nicholas Hoult. But there's 2 guys who are kind of random, look more kind of like on the Henry Cavill side / Superman side. And then, have you guys seen Marvelous Miss Maisel?
I have not.
That is the rumor that she is going to be. She's going to be the Jane. Or why am I blanking on her name? Superman's Lois Lane. She's rumored to be Lois Lane in this new one. They're pretty much gonna be replacing everything. Now the rumor as well is I think they're gonna keep everything that he did that was successful. So like John Cena is gonna be Peacemaker. I think they're gonna keep Cannon with the Suicide Squad. But there's been no rumored confirmation. They did also say this, and I should have put this in as well, is that the Blue Beetle is gonna be the first superhero character part of this new DCU, but it's not gonna be the first DCU movie. So whatever happens here is not necessarily going to be canon, but they're going to keep that actor as the Blue Beetle, and they're going to have him be a part of like the original group. It's gonna be a whole different change here.
Brad Holt gets it. Guys got to put some muscle on.
Yeah, the skinny old boy. He definitely does. I mean, I don't see him being one of those guys. He looks too British. And I'm not trying to be like Superman's the American dude, but you know what I mean? He's just like look
too British.
You know what I mean? To be a Superman. And you know what? Who am I to say that's maybe fucked up of me to say? Because I think they might be doing a Michael B. Jordan as Superman film.
Hell yeah.
With J.J. Abrams potentially directing that.
Michael B. Jordan would be sick as hell.
Yeah, that's another rumor. Right there. That'd be so sick that I think Nicholas Hoult,
great actor.
Nicholas Hoult would be they'd be booing Nicholas Hoult at the theater. I feel like, but also at the end of the day, I feel like that's one thing that's about this DCU is that they're going to be focusing on the story. DC, if you compare it to Marvel, has a lot more lore, a lot more stories to be told. Actually, they say it's way better in the comics compared to Marvel. I mean, when it comes to comic books, DC stomps on Marvel, which is crazy to think that they just can't seem to put it on the big screen.
They keep going for this.
Like animated shows are good.
Right. Yeah, they keep going for this like grim, dark atmosphere, and Marvel just hit it off with their light, fun.
But I mean, it wasn't like necessary. It's lighter. I wouldn't say it's it's funner.
It's brighter.
It's brighter, exactly. You know what I mean? Like Captain America: Winter Soldier was not a fun movie. That was a political movie. You know what I mean? Like that was like that. Some people compared it like to All the President's Men back in the day, and like it was not a movie that you're like, oh my gosh, I can't wait for my 6-year-old to see it. I mean, I'd say the first Iron Man was fun, but like what I mean, it just that first half when he was stuck in that prison and in the cave was some of my favorites. Just Marvel scenes I've ever experienced. I thought it was really well done. So you're right. I think that's a good point. But yeah, and then also I think they're pretty much going to be redoing it all. New Batman, so they're going to be keeping Robert Pattinson as Batman. And what they're going to be called is the Otherworld series. So he'll have his own world, but he probably won't be in this universe itself. And right now, what they're trying to do is they're creating a movie called Batman: Brave and the Bold, and that is going to be an older Batman with a younger Robin / Nightwing, and it's going to be the story of that. That's going to be how it's going to start off. So I don't know. Maybe Robert Pattinson's going to be brought in later on in the series. Who knows? But it's we don't know enough. With this writer's strike, it's hard to be able to say what's going to happen because nobody can put pen to paper. So it's kind of all rumors at this point.
I'm here for it. DC I like that universe better than Marvel.
I mean, if we're looking at it, it seems like, I mean, and Brad, give me some of your favorite Green Lantern stories you'd like to see.
I mean, fighting Sinestro in the Yellow Corps, like that's like the biggest. That's his Batman to the Joker is the Yellow Corps. They're based on fear, and so I mean that's the biggest one for sure. And
yeah,
a lot of pressure though. I mean, because that's the thing with Green Lantern especially is like you're gonna need your CGI to be top notch because that's essentially what his power is that he can manifest objects out of like green light. So how do you make that look cool?
Yeah, that's true. No, that's true. I was a big Flash guy, Batman guy. It's sad that they're redoing the Flash because, well, whatever. We can go into that. Vu, were you a fan? I mean, were you a fan of like DCU at all, like DC growing up at all, or anything like that? Oh, Vu's watching his own little video. It looks like.
Yeah, growing up, I guess the only DC I knew was Christian Bale's Batman.
Yeah, I'm in that. And gosh, I couldn't even like Marvel because of that.
What do you mean?
I just thought Batman. I just loved the way Batman was created. I thought it was just so well made. It was an elite trilogy, the greatest trilogy of all time, if you ask me. There, said it straight. Yeah, I mean it just was unbelievable. Sorry guys, I feel like if I'm talking over you guys, let me know. Please tell me to simmer down.
I will scream at you if it happens.
Cool, man.
Good banter.
Cool. And then the last move, this is good banter. And then the last one here is I want to hear because Vu, I like. Maybe you haven't. Nobody's seen this, I think, out of us, but which is part of the point is that Elemental bombs. Yeah, you heard it straight. Pixar has had its second worst opening weekend since the first Pixar movie, which was Toy Story, the original Toy Story film back in 1995. Wow. Do you guys remember Pixar? Am I confused? Pixar used to be kind of an event, right? Going to the theaters, seeing movies that made you essentially cry and have existential crises, in the movie theater. You know what I mean? Like stories that were deeper that you could show to your kids, but also enjoy even more probably as an adult. It's crazy to see that something like this, and I've heard it's a good movie, but just people weren't going out, and maybe still we have a little bit of people are slow to get back to the movies, the economy, who really knows? I mean, Vu and then Brad, give me your thoughts on, what's going on with Pixar. I mean, it seems like a great movie, but, people aren't going back.
Didn't they just have a flop this summer? Or was that a different animated movie?
I think that was a different... they had a Disney movie that was not Pixar in November that nobody went to called Strange New World.
Yeah, that's
with Jake Gyllenhaal. And Brad, have you even heard of that one? It's probably because they did the worst marketing job in the world. But what are your guys' thoughts on this? I mean, what has happened to Pixar? Seeing this, it's kind of sad considering the years. I mean, gosh, I saw Incredibles 2 in theater the same straight away. One of my favorite movies of all time is Finding Nemo. I mean, and if you guys want to also give your guys' favorite movies as well that are Pixar.
Is Up Pixar?
Yep.
I think that might be
nominated for Best Picture.
Yep. I think that might be my favorite. But yeah, you're right. Pixar used to be just all hits, no misses. And because you went to see this one, right? What are your thoughts?
No, I didn't see it.
You haven't seen it yet?
I was trying to see it yesterday, just got too busy, and I would have seen it tonight with the podcast. But yeah, I want to see it.
Gotcha.
I wonder if it's just like them coming to the more of the middle, like they started hot, but sometimes you can't just keep being hot.
Just not sustainable.
Not sustainable, I guess. I don't know. That's a good question. I mean,
well, when you're making one movie, I mean, yeah.
But I mean, they were just hitting. It was hit after hit. I've got the list in front of me. We got Toy Story, Bug's Life, Toy Story 2, Monsters, Inc., Finding Nemo, Incredibles, Car, Ratatouille, WALL-E, Up, Toy Story 3.
Yeah.
Elite, WALL-E. Oh my God. Banger after banger.
For 15 years, they had just absolute hit after hit.
Dinosaur one ruined it for me. I didn't see that one.
The Good Dinosaur, mediocre. So mediocre.
That's so mediocre. Sorry, what were you saying, Boo?
Do you think Disney Plus has kind of stunted this? Because do you think parents are just saying, wait, I'll just wait a couple months and we can just stream it off Disney Plus together rather than taking everybody and family to the theater,
Ding, 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 ding. I think that's what it is, man. I really do think that's what it is. I think it's the idea of when you got parents have less attention spans than ever, even sometimes as bad as their kids. And when it comes to having to sit in the theater, I remember back in the day, me and my sister were just running down the middle of the freaking lanes at a movie during one of the Toy Story ones. Like how annoying we must have been.
For the love of God, sit in your seat.
We are watching Toy Story. But what I'm saying is, the idea of not having to bring your kids, not having to spend $50 at a movie theater to see. And I think at the end of the day, I think animation still has this preconceived notion that it's for children. So, and of course, Pixar used to be a thing where it's you went to go see it because it was deeper than that. I mean, they're also just not creating movies like Up, like Ratatouille, like Toy Story. It's more grandeur, maybe. Is that this Elemental looks amazing. But some of these other movies were a little bit more smaller in scale, a little bit more. The story was a little more brought together. Maybe I could be wrong. I just think it just to me it seems like I don't know. Maybe you need to switch things up. Who really knows? I mean, I think you're right about that though. The parents are just like, hey, this started in 2020. Back in 2020, they released Wayward, I think it was Tom Holland and Chris Pratt. And there was a movie about their father had died or something like that, and they're trying to bring this pair of pants. I can't even remember it.
Onward.
Onward. And it wasn't the worst. It was fine during 2020, but I think that started to create this, with also Turning Red released on Disney Plus. You know what I mean? It's become a thing where it's no longer an event in theater. It's a thing where now parents are thinking to themselves, let me just wait for it to get on Disney and I'll show it to my kid 20 more times. You know?
Mm-hmm. It's a good point. I mean, the cost of bringing your whole family to one movie, you could pay Disney Plus for a year.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but at the end of the day, you look at Mario movie. Mario movie is the number one release film released released at home on demand. $70 million it's already made. The closest next to it is 20 million. Like that's because parents just, the money for these kind of things, which I'm confused because it's like, is it going to make the money on the app as well as it is in theater? People went to go see the Super Mario film.
And maybe that's the power of Mario, though.
You're right. You're very much right. But I've heard it's nowhere. This when it comes to a story, it's nowhere near this Elemental, nowhere near anything that Pixar can put out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I don't know. Any other thoughts on this, you guys? Just what you're thinking?
It's just sad.
Yeah. I think streaming apps are kind of taking it out of cinema. Like that's what happened with like Black Widow. Like even Marvel films. People can just wait 2 months and it'll just be on Disney Plus. So
I think that's what's happening with Flash. I think that's what's happening with a lot of movies where it's like half these movies, it's like we don't like if it's not something I really 100% want to see, you know what I mean? You wait a couple months and you're back. So I don't know. Interesting. This has been a lot of great discussion here today. We are so off topic. We haven't even gotten to the reviews yet, which is supposed to be taking up most of our time. All right. You know what? So I think that was a great little rundown there. Let's move on to the movie reviews. And we're looking at this. We've got a few movie reviews we're going to go through today, ladies and gentlemen. We've got Spider-Man Across the Spiderverse, Transformers, I think it's Rise of the Beast. Yes, that's it. And then I put, damn it, I'm dumb. Indiana Jones. I did not see that. But The Flash. That is going to be our final one. And all these will be, the first two we can do spoiler, or Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse, we can do spoilers because we've all seen it. But The Flash, we'll try to keep it as spoiler-free just because Brad has not seen it yet.
And feel free to spoil it if you need to. It won't affect my view.
Okay, well, we'll see. But I mean, how about this, Brad? We saw it in Dolby Digital. Give me your thoughts on Across the Spider-Verse. Well, and we all can kind of jump in, but I'd love to hear from you first.
Initial thoughts was it flew by. I did not know going in that it was 2.5 hours, and so when it ended, I looked at Kevin and I was like, "Holy shit! Like I could watch 10 more hours of that."
Yep,
because it was just like pure enjoyable. Also, didn't know I thought that would be finished. I didn't know it would have another movie after it. So again, looked at Kevin, was like, "What?" I didn't even think it would be another one. But overall, visually stunning. Like you just have to tip your hat to the animators because my God, like every scene was truly like unique and special. All the different worlds they went to were just so cool. They went to the India, Manhattan, they had the punk rock guy.
Mumbai Hatton.
Yeah. in the chase scene, it was just visually so impressive. I really, really love the movie.
Yeah. Animation was on point. The story was on point. And I was with you. I did not know that it would end with a cliffhanger like that.
Who texted me after being like, "What the hell?" Like,
they got me.
Did you know that? Yeah.
It was just a great film. Just top start to finish. Really good film.
Yeah. I mean, it's a sequel. And one thing that's great about it, it's a sequel. How much do we see movies that are better than the original? And the original was, if you ask me, a solid 9.5 out of 10. 9 to 9.5 out of 10. I give this one a 10 out of 10. I think this one's better. I think this movie partially ruined another movie we're going to talk about that is superhero related because of how well done they discussed the multiverse, just how well done it is. I mean, this movie is my movie of the year, if you ask me, so far. It's going to be very hard. And I've heard a lot of people saying that this should be nominated for an Oscar for Best Picture. Don't give it to that Best Animated Film. Now, if there are 10 films better than this one, this may be the greatest year in film history. You know what I mean? That's just what people are saying. And it's the truth. And I truly lost my shit during this movie. I mean, it was just every scene. There's little, trinkets there, whether it was the cameos and little, tongue-in-cheek, reflections to other Spider-Man from other movies. I mean, gosh, I was like, during the movie, I'm like, Brad, look at that. That's a Lego Spider-Man. That's a Lego. Being like,
that's Tobey Maguire.
It's Toby. It's Toby. You know what I mean? Like, I thought I was flabbergasted by Spider-Man, what was that? No Way Home? Is that the one where it was the last one? I thought that was great. This one even did a better job of, incorporating all these different kind of Spider-Mans throughout the history. I mean, it just was just it wasn't just a nostalgia bait. It also added to the story itself. I think the story was so layered. It wasn't just an easy movie, like I would say, I always bring it back to, you can animate a film, use a character, and make $1 billion. You're looking at Super Mario Brothers. Not the deepest flick or story, but this one just has so much to it. The way to describe the multiverse was fantastic. That scene was just beautiful. Miguel O'Hara, being the just a ruthless Spider-Man, ruthless villain, somebody I'm excited to kind of have them encounter with each other again. The Spot and they describe it in the movie as being that weak, the weakly villain, and see what he's become at the end. It's just beautiful. What else you guys have to add to that?
I just liked having Oscar Isaac as that, the guy you just mentioned. What a great kind of like anti-hero, I really liked it. Great choice.
Yeah, hands down, this is the best explanation of the multiverse for a Marvel film. Even though this isn't really in the MCU, I'd say, I still think it's the best one.
I would say so too, and I hope that Marvel takes some of this stuff, takes some of the nuggets from this, and truly incorporates into theirs. Because right now, Marvel needs a little bit of fixing when it comes to their multiverse, I would say.
Yeah,
I thought it was.
This is what I wish.
It was interesting that Tom Holland's Spider-Man didn't show up.
True.
And I wonder if that's just because they're saving him for the next one. I've been reading online that could be why.
Ooh.
Because they're not going to have, now they've shown Tobey Maguire and shown, you know what I mean?
Andrew Garfield, yeah.
How are they going to incorporate it into the next one in a way? Because you're right, you did bring that up to me, and I remember thinking to myself, like, you're right, they didn't show that. I didn't believe you at first, so I did some research. Yeah, I think just because also he's the new Spider-Man, and who even knows what the future of Tom Holland is with that? I mean, gosh, I'm hearing like they're going to be making a live action Miles Morales. Is that can be connected to this now that we know that it is all connected in a way? You know what I mean? Like it opens up Pandora's box a little bit.
Is this animated Miles Morales connected to the MCU? Who created this? Was this a Marvel?
This is
movie?
Sony. This is a Sony Pictures. Marvel still under Marvel, of course, but it is produced by Sony. The Tom Holland movies were produced by Marvel and Sony. This one specifically just Sony. And how can you not after how great? I mean, this isn't just a cartoon film. You know what I mean? In the same universe, this is beyond that.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? Like this is as good as it gets when it comes not only just anime. I hate to compare it to animated because of course it is, but this is as good as when it comes to storytelling ever. When it comes to comic book storytelling, whoever you ask, and I would even say you couldn't even say Dark Knight is comic book in a way because it is just so much beyond that. But when it comes to, let's say, comparing to MCU, just also DCEU, this is as good as it gets, man. When it comes to comic book storytelling, I don't know.
Top
tier. This could go down as one of the greatest trilogies of all time.
I think it could be, man. This legitimately could. You'd really have to fuck
a lot
up
of
the third
pressure
one.
for movie 3.
Yeah, I know. And movie 3 is coming out next year.
It's for sure.
Yep. Because it's a part 1 and part 2.
Yeah. Okay.
And they've been making these for a while. Yeah, man. And they got to get going on the new Miles Morales. They got to take advantage of this, man. So, just great fun. What do you guys give it out of 10?
9.9.
Oh, wow.
9.9.
9.9. And I gave it a 10.
I like it.
I gave it a 10. All right, we're up to I'm going to write these down for us. And I'll create a spreadsheet for all of us to kind of recognize our film. So, if you guys ever want to go into it and make adjustments, you can. Let me put that there. All right, moving on. Let's move on to The Flash. Vu, while I write this down, do you want to start off The Flash, man, and just give you a quick rundown of what your thoughts on and quick review? I mean,
yeah. So I went into The Flash without knowing a whole lot of the Ezra Miller, or that's his name, right? Ezra Miller. I didn't know about his off-camera misconduct to the extent that it was. So I came in with an open mind, and I thought the film was fantastic, really. I think it's probably one of the best DC universe movies that I've ever seen. It's just great storytelling, great visuals, and yeah, I was really hoping to get a sequel, but based off the feedback that we're getting from everybody else and the numbers, it's not looking very likely. So
yeah, it's unfortunate. I mean, Ezra really screwed the pooch here, man. I don't know how you fuck it up as bad as he did. I mean, he had, and I think one of the things when you look back at this movie is that, you know, credit where credit is due. It's crazy to think that they made Tom Cruise rate this as high as he did. He got a special showing, just him, and he was just yelling about it. And it's a great film. I agree with you. It's a great film. Not the greatest comic book film of all time, like some people were saying it could be.
Yeah.
But I mean, you know, I'll give my quick review, and I want you to add to it as well. I mean, you know, this movie, how it is it's the Flash played by Ezra. You know, it's the first movie where essentially it's him being by himself. No longer is he with the Justice League. We're going to finally kind of see who is the man behind the cape, or I guess behind the suit. And you know, it's kind of cool just because it's also, you know, cool. Good part to it is he's hanging with his younger self, which is interesting because I just the entire time was thinking to myself, man, that younger self is so annoying and makes the original Flash or Ezra Miller part look so normal compared to. I'm like, man, if I had to talk to myself though at 18 years old, the annoying shit I'd be saying, the annoying stuff I'd be doing, I'd hate the guy.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
So that was I love that dynamic to it. You know, it's sad to say this, and again, bring it back. I don't like Ezra. I'm not the biggest fan of the character of his. I don't think anyone really is, and I completely agree with him. But he's kind of a good actor in this movie.
He is kind fantastic.
Of one of the best parts of this movie. Yeah.
He did a fantastic job.
I would say I didn't even like him that much in the Justice League before. And this one, I think post Justice League against, you know, everything he's been through, I liked him a lot. I thought, you know, to bring it back to this as well, you know, on the other side of just bringing the con, CGI is not very good.
Yeah.
They did say that, like I told you, I mean, some of the CGI looked like it was from a PS4 game. And I did hear that apparently that there was supposed to be distorted reality.
Supposed to be wonky, Kev.
It's supposed to be wonky on purpose. I'm like, okay, all right, man, all right, good excuse. So that was fine. Things I loved about it, again, bringing it back to it, because I think I loved a lot more than I hated. Supergirl was a badass. Supergirl, the way they portrayed her, I could have never expected it, because I feel like every Supergirl rendition I've seen so far, Supergirl's kind of like a like a cute little blonde or something like that. No, we got a short-haired badass bitch who was looking to murder some people. I mean, it was fucking awesome, truthfully. Again, sorry for swearing, but I guess we're 50 an hour into this. I don't think anybody would get us in trouble for that. You know, I just love how they presented her. You know, how about you? What do you think of Sasha Calle as Supergirl?
She was an awesome job. You know, she did an awesome job playing the role without Superman being there. It was just a great story to have her implemented.
Yeah,
against her facing Zod, and it was just a good story all around. I also liked how it was like an origin story without feeling like an origin story for the Flash. You know, so we never got, you know, a Flash standalone before Justice League, and here we are. We get to see how he gets his powers and everything without like its own film, really. You know, just him following his younger self.
And that's another thing, Vu, that adds to the fact that it's ending the DCU, because I thought there's just such a great way of – it was a good story, man. I mean, Flashpoint's one of the more pivotal moments, I think, in the entire DCEU or DC just comics in general. I thought they did a good job. But, hey, that means they can still keep doing it in the future as well. What do you think about Michael Keaton, man?
I liked his role, but I never watched the old – Batman's, so it wasn't as nostalgic for me since I didn't watch any of his films back in the day. But
did anyone cheer or anything in the theaters when he came?
Yeah. The crowd.
Yeah, I had a lot of crowd. My crowd went crazy for that one.
Yep.
You know, he's in the trailer.
Yeah.
But like
let's get nuts.
Yeah, let's get nuts, man. I'm Batman. It's like, of course you're Batman. We're in your goddamn cave right now. No, I thought it was just a great highlight. I mean, sorry, bring it back to another con. Bring it back to Sasha Calle. I wish they did more with her, and I wish they did more with Michael Keaton. Again, this is the Flash, so you're going to get a lot of the Flash. But, I just expected more for him. But just funny scenes. Gosh, there's a couple scenes in there where he even though it's a modern day version of Batman, he still used, a lot of the things that like back in the 80s he would have used. Like one of the things, he was setting bombs under this like elevator they wanted to explode. And he pulled out a ruler and he goes, "How much do you guys weigh?" Okay. Instead of just having to know it, or gosh, what was the other? There was a couple other scenes where it was like, oh, he was trying to hack a Russian base with a flip phone.
Yep.
Like it was good. It was good tongue in cheek because Batman's taken so seriously, and it was good to see him not as just a little more goofy. That's how it would be. So I like that too. Funny callbacks, good cameos. Dialogue was better than most DC films, I would say. Still has some DC-isms where it's like cringe, but it was funny. There was some really funny scenes and some other funny, not funny scenes as well, of course. A lot more of that in this than there is in MCU, I would say. Again, I feel bad that I saw this after the Spiderverse, across the multiverse, just because the multiverse did such a great job of explaining. And I actually think that they did a better job of explaining the multiverse in their world compared to what the MCU did. But
this is much better.
Yeah, much better. It's just not up to par what Across the Spider-Verse did.
Yeah.
That was good. What do you think of the fight scenes, man? What do you think of the scenes where I thought the CGI was pretty good for that, but what were your thoughts on
I guess I've never been a fan of fight scenes in DC movies compared to like Marvel. Yeah. I prefer like how they're shot in Marvel better, but this one wasn't as bad.
Yeah, it was different. It different techniques.
Yep. So all around, I really enjoyed this film. I know a lot of people didn't. There's a lot of factors behind that with the actors, but I thought it was just a great film. And I'm sad that we're not going to experience more of this film.
Yeah, I would agree, man. It was great. It was a great swan song for a pretty mediocre DCEU. I think it's a good setup for what we're about to see. I think it's a good way to end that. The last 10 years we won't be able to ever forget. I know I won't. I spent so much money on goddamn movies to be half happy about them, but I think it's upward and onward when it comes to DC, baby. And it seems like James Gunn knows what he's doing. Again, great movie. Vu, if you had to give it a review or rating out of 10, what would you give it?
I'd give it at least an 8.
All right, I like that. I was giving it 7.5.
Yeah.
Yeah, 7.5 for me.
That's a fair rating in my mind.
Because it was not a bad movie at all. I think 7.5 just because I think if I had to compare it to Batman vs Superman, I give that one like a 6.
Yeah, that movie was not very good.
And I like Batman vs Superman more than most.
Yeah.
So that's that 6 is kind of high. Brad, what are your thoughts on the DC EU, I guess, ending now? Or I guess you're still going to see the movie, right?
Planning to, yeah. I've got hope. Again, like it has the best characters. It just needs to be done right.
And Brad, some people give this a 10 out of 10. You know what I mean? Yeah. It's just our opinion right now. So
I'm excited.
I left the movie happy. So I just want to leave it
exactly. Yes, I remember being very happy. I enjoyed my 2 hours. I agree with you, man. That's all you could ever ask for film, man.
Exactly.
Gosh, guys, I think we did it. I think episode 2 is maybe to complete. We had a couple other things we could have had, but gosh, after an hour of talking, I'm standing. My feet hurt a little bit, and it's a little late for you, Vu.
We got to save it for the next step.
Exactly. It's almost 10 o'clock where Vu is. If you guys want an idea where he is, we're not going to let you know, though.
They're going to dox him. Don't say anymore.
Dox me, bro. Dox me.
But you know what? It's all right. Hey, guys, I appreciate it again today. Do you guys have any closing thoughts on just things we've talked about, things you guys want to talk about in the next episode? Anything kind of goofy or fun for film?
Go see Spider-Man. It's worth it. It deserves the money.
Yeah, go see Flash, go see Spider-Man, go see Indiana Jones, go see Mission Impossible, go see Oppenheimer, go see Barbie. That's 5 movies right there that we still have to come. It's only the beginning, baby. In the middle. It's only the middle, baby. Okay? We still got a lot coming out here this summer. Movies are back.
Gosh, movies are back.
Ain't that a good feeling? Ain't that good to say?
We're gonna have merch, and that's the tagline. Movies are back.
Yep. Movies are back. Yeah, we're gonna have merch coming out soon. Also, again, don't forget to put hashtag I miss my mommy in the
hashtag that.
Yeah, hashtag FAP, you know, or FAP, hashtag FAP or FAP, whatever you guys want. It does, you know, I make the mistake as well. Again, this is the end of episode 2, or I guess this is episode 3, baby. Episode 3. We'll release the first episode someday.
Yeah.
It just had bad recording, but we'll release it. But episode 3 of
that's for the Patreon.
Exactly, that's for the Patreon, baby. Keep checking us out. Let us know thoughts on you guys' film. Follow us. I will be creating a social media handle that all 3 of us can kind of run together. I think that'd be kind of fun.
Yeah.
Just for shits and gigs. I don't know. I think that'd be kind of a good time. And then I'm going to be using it. I'm going to create an Instagram. I do currently right now. I do a lot of my Instagram as being me releasing a bunch of movie scenes, things like that. I think I can do a good Instagram for that too. And I'd probably enjoy it more using it on there. So going to be creating more socials, going to be getting us out there, but we're looking for 40 views, guys. We're looking for 40 views, get 40 people liking this, and
tell a friend to tell a friend.
Tell a friend to tell a friend. Tell a friend to tell a friend. Great point.
More content incoming.
Yeah, more content incoming. I think once we're getting the ball rolling, it's just gonna be. I think we should do more. We're gonna be doing more like out of theater reviews. I think we should do, you know, just getting things on there. TikTok, you know, TikTok. I don't know how to use it necessarily. I'm still getting there, but
I kind of like out of theater reviews. Just a quick video.
Yeah,
it's kind of cool.
Quick 2-minute video. I will give you guys also our account too, so you guys can log in. So yeah, guys. Hey, it was a pleasure as always. Enjoy your guys' Monday night, and always FEP on. All right.
Well, shout out to the listeners.
Yeah, shout out to the listeners. All right, brothers. I appreciate everything. Everyone, have a great night, and we cannot wait for episode 4. All right. See you guys. Peace.
Peace.